So we're here reading from the Bhagavatam yet again. And it's been a snowy day here in New York City. And I'd love to be outside reading in the snow, but we haven't done anything like that in quite some time. I think since last year.
That's good.
Yeah. So where are we at?
Canto 4, Chapter 28, Text 31.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Text 31. My dear King Prachini Bahishat, the sons of Malayadvaja gave birth to many thousands and thousands of sons, and all of these have been protecting the entire world up to the end of one Manu's lifespan and even afterward. Purport. There are 14 Manus in one day of Brahma. A Manvantara, the lifespan of one Manu, is given as 71 multiplied by 4,320,000 years. After one such Manu passes on, another Manu begins his lifespan. In this way, the life cycle of the universe is going on. As one Manu follows another, the cult of Krishna consciousness is being imparted, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, Chapter 4, Text 1. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Iman Vivashvate Yogam Praktavan Aham Avyayam Vivashvan Manave Praha Mano Ikshvakave Abravit. The Blessed Lord said, I instructed this imperishable science of yoga to the sun god Vivashvan, and Vivashvan instructed it to Manu, the father of mankind, and Manu in turn instructed it to Ikshvaku. Vivashvan, the sun god, imparted Bhagavad Gita to one Manu, and this Manu imparted it to his son, who imparted it to yet another Manu. In this way, the propagation of Krishna consciousness is never stopped. No one should think that this Krishna consciousness movement is a new movement. As confirmed by Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, it is a very, very old movement, for it has been passing down from one Manu to another. Interesting. Well, it's interesting.
And what exactly is interesting?
When I was first reading, I was thinking this is what I'm going to say, which is like, because I like the pastime, especially when they're a bit crazy. And I was thinking, okay, well, now we're getting into this one had this many sons, and this one this, and this Manu and that Manu. And I was thinking to say, Parikshit Maharaj is sitting there, and he's got 7 days to live, and you'd think, just give me the medicine for me to be whatever I need so I can be liberated, And I'm not going to remember this Manu, that Manu, and when they list all the different sons and daughters, I hope they don't test me at the end, because this is going to be a disaster. But then, Prabhupada then adds this sort of almost like, if you're a lawyer or something and you put forward your evidence, So then he's like, the propagation of this Krishna conscious movement is never stopped. No one should think that this Krishna conscious movement is a new movement. And then what he does is this movement, which he came here to New York and established 60 years ago, he's now what's that word, when you stamp it,
Verifying.
Yeah.
Qualifying.
And has attached it.
Certifying.
And has attached it to what we're reading in this ancient literature, the Bhagavad Purana, and saying, well, there you go, So basically that's what he's saying, that this Krishna conscious movement, which means his Krishna, ISKCON, not a new movement, in the sense that what I'm propagating, what I'm teaching is not new, and it's as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita and the Srimad Bhagavatam, it's actually a very old movement, for it has been passed down from one Manu to another. So for devotees, that's like very enlivening. And you can understand for someone who's not, and be like, wait a minute, you know? What? It's interesting. I just thought it was quite powerful, you know? That, this fledgling movement that he started here. And, because regardless, you don't have to be a Hare Krishna. It's not just Hare Krishnas that have the monopoly on the Srimad Bhagavatam or the Bhagavad Gita. This is holy books that are read, you know, many, whatever, thousands.
Generations.
Yeah, in India, whatever. So, and Prabhupada has taken this movement and, kind of like certified it and put it there, you know?
Yeah, like historically verified. I was trying to think of a word. If you can think of a good word, please put it below, because I think we haven't quite nailed it. But yeah.
But he's done that because what Prabhupada has done is taken the essence of the Bhagavad Gita and the Srimad Bhagavatam and created the movement, not the other way around.
Yes.
Like if you look at it like, well, you just created a movement and now you're just attaching it to this. No, he understands, as anyone can see,
nice.
if you're an intelligent person or otherwise, this man knows what he's talking about with these literatures, and he's taken the essence of that, and here you go. Because to go full circle, someone like me who's a bit divvy, it's like, if you give me these literatures, even to this day, it's like, it doesn't do anything for me when I start reading about these different lineages and the names and this Manu and that. Some people really like that, you know, and then how many years of this and yugas and this. It just doesn't. So this wouldn't have worked for me if he'd presented it in the movement in another way. But what he's done is taken the essence of that whole Bhagavad Purana, and there you go. Chant your 16 rounds for the 4 regs, devotional service, prasadam, and, you know, chanting, dancing, devices, and that's the essence. So that's quite powerful, you know.
Yeah, very nice. Nice point. I'm just going to hit pause for a minute because I really want to get my tea that I forgot to bring over while I was doing this. So just 1 second.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we're back. Got my tea.
Cheers.
My tea. Ginger and turmeric.
All right.
Keeping me alive. Okay, so next paragraph. Among Vaishnavas, there may be some difference of opinion due to everyone's personal identity. But despite all personal differences, the cult of Krishna consciousness must go on. We can see that under the instructions of Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj began preaching the Krishna consciousness movement in an organized way within the past 100 years. The disciples of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj are all God brothers, and although there are some differences of opinion, and although we are not acting conjointly, every one of us is spreading this Krishna consciousness movement according to his own capacity and producing many disciples to spread it all over the world. As far as we are concerned, we have already started the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, and many thousands of Europeans and Americans have joined this movement. Indeed, it is spreading like wildfire. The cult of Krishna consciousness, based on the 9 principles of devotional service, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanavedanam, will never be stopped. It will go on without distinction of caste, creed, color, or country. No one can check it. I mean, that is a very, very powerful statement. Srila Prabhupada is putting here at the end of the 4th canto, in the middle of this pastime of Paranjan, tucked away neatly in like a purport. It's like, what? That is amazing. And especially, as you just mentioned, that it is the 60th anniversary year of ISKCON. And this is like a testimonial statement that Prabhupada is kind of putting here, because now the context is, as soon as it says, my dear King Prachini Barhishat, what it means is that Narada Muni has kind of stepped out of the specifics of the allegory, and he's talking to the king now that he's telling the allegory of King Puranjan to, and he's now saying, so King Prachini Barhishat, the sons of Malayadwaja, who is the kind of the husband of the woman who was the reincarnation of King Puranjan, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's talking about that gave birth to many thousands and thousands of sons. All of these have been protecting the entire world up to the end of one of Manu's lifespan and even afterward. Now, often we might talk of 1, 2, 3, maybe even 4 generations kind of thing. You know, it's like my grandfather, my father, grandfather, great-grandfather. Hardly do you get to the great-great-great-grandfather kind of, great-great-grandfather kind of thing. But here we see that one of these lives of Manu is 71 times 4,320,000. So that is an immense amount of time. And inside of that, Prabhupada's created this huge bubble of this immense amount of space. And then Prabhupada is basically saying, inside of that, coming from Bhaktivedanta Thakur, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur started this, and we have God Brothers, and we're all trying to push on this Krishna consciousness movement, which isn't a new thing. And it's interesting because Prabhupada isn't also trying to claim proprietorship over it. Krishna consciousness isn't something that he's feeling or saying that he owns. It's not something that he's created. It's just something that he tried to spread in his own way. And of course he notes that it's spreading like wildfire. But it's so powerful at the end where he says the cult of Krishna consciousness in general. Now when we hear that, we may think the Hare Krishna movement. But Prabhupada is talking about the general cult of Krishna consciousness, which is based on Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasya, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. He says it will go on, and I love this part, without distinction of caste, creed, color, or country. No one can check it. So Prabhupada is so non-sectarian in his understanding of how Krishna consciousness can spread. And that's something that I would say, unfortunately, is the mind and heart of a real pure devotee, you know, someone on the Paramahamsa platform. Because even to this day, we still get caught up in these different kinds of things. Whoops, even within Krishna consciousness. So, yeah, anyway, it's Prabhupada is just, he's just really nailing it down there. Amazing.
Okay, final paragraph. The word bhakti is very important in this verse. Just as a king gives protection to his citizens, these devotees, following the principles of devotional service, will give protection to all the people of the world. The people of the world are very much harassed by so-called religious principled swamis, yogis, karmis, and gyanis, but none of these can show the right way to become elevated to the spiritual platform. There are primarily 4 parties spreading devotional service all over the universe. These are the Ramanuja Sampradaya, the Madhava Sampradaya, the Vishnu Swami Sampradaya, and the Nimbaka Sampradaya. The Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya in particular comes from Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All these devotees are spreading this Krishna consciousness movement very widely and giving protection to innocent people who are being so much embarrassed by pseudo avatars, swamis, yogis, and others. Interesting. Feels like Prabhupada, because the first two, well, the one that I read, the first one, saying that, it's interesting how he's, establishing the movement in its credibility by rubber stamping it in.
Not rubber stamping it. Rubber stamping it means that it's just an artificial thing that you do. You
not an artificial rubber stamp.
Gold sealing it.
Gold sealing it, right? And then it kind of really gets a bit more militant and to the point in the second paragraph. But then in the third one, it comes across like it's like, well, there's four branches, as it were, and everyone's doing good, because at the end of the day, all four at least are trying in their own paths and philosophy to take people out of, ignorance and birth and death, and as Prabhupada says here, being embarrassed and being in embarrassing situations and being cheated, basically, pseudo avatars. So everyone is doing their best in that way, and everyone's welcome to take to whatever path you need to take to go back home, It's
opening it up,
kind of like
making it inclusive, not like making a statement that we're better. Or
exactly.
Or I got the monopoly.
I've just gold sealed my ISKCON movement in this and Hare Krishna. The rest of you are rubbish. It didn't say that.
Well, it's kind of like the in Chaitanya Charitamrita, where he talks about the branches of the Chaitanya tree.
Yeah.
And then he says that ISKCON is a branch of this Chaitanya tree.
Right.
But, the point is that it's a big tree.
Yeah.
And ISKCON is just one branch.
Yeah.
It was very powerful. What was I thinking? Oh, that listening... Sorry, were you finished?
Yeah, for now.
Listening to the Journey Home audiobook of late, and just wonderful to hear Radhanath Maharaj telling, this story, of his journey. But just yesterday I was hearing him talk about his dealings once he was in Mathura, and wound up staying with one man that was like the guru, and some of the disciples took them there, and he was with his friend Gary, and this guru, he invited them to stay with them, and Gary slept on the floor, and he invited Radhanath Maharaj to stay with him in his bed, and Maharaj was thinking, wow, that's really prestigious, I feel so honored. And then in the middle of the night he started trying to fiddle around with them. And it was like, what? And then he kind of said no, pushed him away. And then I'm going to paraphrase, but he said that the guru said something to the effect that this is the mercy of God coming to you through me.
Shoot.
And you shouldn't refuse it. And then Maharaj mentions how he was remembering this other person, I think his name was Vasudev, who he was traveling with, who had been cursed by some powerful yogi, and because of that he was being haunted by him, and so Maharaj was like all bewildered, should I just let him do whatever he's going to do so I don't get cursed? But then he eventually shoved him away, and he left and went outside. But he said he stood watch outside to make sure that he didn't start fiddling with Gary, and I'm thinking, well, why the heck did you leave Gary inside? But anyway, that's a different kind of statement. But the point is, and then there was a previous one where he was with some Ram Bhakta who had all these people coming up to him, offering prayers, offering oblations, and offering gifts and begging for blessings, and he was giving them all blessings while he was talking to Maharaj at the same time in English. And then Maharaj said, I'm looking for a life of renunciation, and I just want to be a mendicant. And then he freaked out on Maharaj and just said, what are you, crazy? You come from America. You've got so much opportunity, so many things. Why would you come to this place and just beg for, what did he say, something like rice and dal? That's it. That's all you're going to get. That's all I get. And he just lost it. And Maharaj realized that, oh my goodness, there's so many people who, and this was his realization after, meeting with this person in Mathura, that being saintly has like very little to do with your outward appearance or whatever title you may have or whatever position you may have, So it's interesting Prabhupada brings this up about that we should be very careful that we ourselves, our society, our communities, that we don't generate and create these kind of pseudo-avatars, swamis, yogis, and others who just try to cheat people, unfortunately. And that cheating propensity is very strong. It's just the case, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, very grateful to Prabhupada for being the real deal.
Yeah, the real deal. Okay.
As the young people say.
Anything else?
Oh, I forgot. Might be a good thing, It was a bit controversial.
Was it? Okay. So I think we'll finish here. Thank you very much. It's amazing how you can just read one verse and purport and speak, discuss, and share for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you all very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.